Welcome back to Bet Shuffle NFL Week 2. We kicked things off in style last week, 4 out of 5 on the core picks. That's an 80% hit rate. The only one that missed was David Njoku, just 11 yards shy despite seeing 6 targets. This season, we think he clears that line most weeks. Let's roll into week 2. Pick 1, Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns at 13-10. We're still riding the Baker Mayfield train. This number landed in every single game last year. It landed again in week 1 and we're backing him to keep rolling. The emergence of rookie Acca Wrap, who we shouted out last week, was there for all to see against the Falcons. Mayfield's already showing he likes him as a target, and that presence should free up a bit more space for Mike Evans to work with too. On the road against the Texans side that stuttered last week against the Rams, Baker should have plenty of opportunities to keep his touchdown streak alive. Pick 2, Kayshon Boutte over 40 receiving yards. For those of you following along on TikTok, you'll know we got on the Boutte train last week when his line was a staggering 19.5 yards at 5-4. The 2023 second round pick didn't disappoint. He went over 100 yards against the Raiders, catching 6 of 8 targets. Naturally, the line has jumped this week, but even at 35.5 or bumped up slightly to over 40, at even money, we think it's still very achievable. Boutte stacked up more than 340 receiving yards across his last 4 games, and up against the lackluster Miami Dolphins, we think he delivers again. Pick 3, Brenton Strange over 31.5 receiving yards at 10-11. A familiar name to viewers from last week, we're going back to the well with Jacksonville Jaguars tight end 1 Brenton Strange. Why? Because there's still value in his price. The line is set at 31.5 yards, and in week 1 he caught 4 targets for 59 yards and led the Jaguars in receiving yards, playing 79% of snaps. Remember, Evan Engram was traded because the Jaguars organisation believe in Strange, and so do we. This week he goes up against a Bengals team that struggled to contain the Browns, so we're backing Strange to clear his number again. Brenton Strange over 31.5 yards at 10-11. Pick 4, Jonnu Smith over 26.5 receiving yards. He played 66% of the snaps in week 1 and was heavily involved, 6 targets, 5 catches, and he found the end zone. The only thing missing was the yardage, as he finished with just 15, but that kind of usage tells us the yards will come. And remember, Pittsburgh offensive coordinator Arthur Smith loves Jonnu. This is their 3rd city together, and you can guarantee he's drawing up plays to get his man involved. With that level of trust and involvement, this line at 26.5 feels too low, and we're backing Jonnu to push past it this week in his home debut against the Seahawks. Pick 5, Kyler Murray over 251.5 passing and rushing yards. When it comes to Murray, it's never just about the arm, it's the dual threat ability that makes him so dangerous. He can pile up the yards through the air, and when plays break down, he's just as easily rack them up on the ground. Against a Panthers defence that gave up chunk plays last week and struggled against the Jaguars, this number feels within reach. If Arizona are going to move the ball consistently, Murray will be at the heart of it, both passing and running, and that's why we like him to clear 251.5 yards. Those are the 5 core picks for week 2. Use them as you see fit, and if you roll them into an Acca, the price comes out at around 31-1. A big price if the whole card lands. Time for the long shots. We nearly had the perfect start last week. We put up 2 players, Harold Fanning Jr. as a touchdown scorer for the Browns, which didn't land. He actually got the lion's share of the tight end work, 9 targets, 63 yards, but he couldn't find the end zone. The other player was Jahan Dotson of the Philadelphia Eagles, over 30 receiving yards at 5-1. That one cashed easily. He went for 59 yards against the Cowboys, so not a bad start overall for the long shots. This week we're rolling them into a double. 2 players, both at decent odds, combined for a bigger payout. First up, DK Metcalf, anytime touchdown scorer and over 50 receiving yards at 9-4. He's up against his old team, the Seahawks, and you'll know he'll have a point to prove. Last week, Metcalf led the Steelers in targets, receptions and yards. He did everything but score. And with Rodgers under centre, you can bet the veteran quarterback knows just how much this one means to Metcalf. The volume is there, the motivation is there. Metcalf to find the end zone and clear 50 yards is pick one. Joining him in the double is Courtland Sutton, anytime touchdown scorer and over 50 receiving yards at 12-5. I'm a huge Sutton fan, and even though the Broncos weren't great last week, I really like what Bo Nix brings at quarterback. They found a way to win while not at their best, which is always a good sign. Sutton caught 6 of 9 targets for 61 yards and a touchdown in week 1 as the Broncos edged the Titans. This week on the road at Indianapolis, it's another great matchup. The Colts blow away the Dolphins in week 1, but that felt just as much like a Tua meltdown as it did a Daniel Jones masterclass. Sutton's role is clear and the chemistry with Nix is there, so we're backing him to repeat with another 50 yards and a touchdown. Put them together as a double, Metcalf and Sutton both to score and go over 50 yards. And you've got a juicy 10-1 price for week 2's long shot play. And look, it's a long shot, so if you want a bit of insurance, you can always back the 2 singles as well as the double. That way, if just one leg lands, your stake's covered and you've still got a bit of pocket change left over. Remember, on Sunday, to look out for our Redzone Tick 'em Off Parlay on TikTok. For those of you that like a small stakes Acca to enjoy the 7 hours of commercial-free football with, all the details can be found below. Good luck, bet sensibly, and most importantly, enjoy the football. We'll be back next week to shuffle it all again. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share Bet Shuffle so you don't miss a single pick this season. Good luck!